So to kind of rewind back a couple of months, I think most of you probably remember the iPhone 15. This was a very interesting phone that came out that, basically from Apple, and I genuinely do think it was one of the better devices they made. I think it had a lot of features, lots of cool quality of life improvements, which I was really, really happy about. Not perfect, but I think it was very good for the most part, which I was super excited to see. But there were a couple of things that, Apple did in the specific device, which was very weird. And I don't think you remember, but there were so many issues going along with this particular phone. I have no idea what Apple was doing in this particular standpoint. Why were there so many issues with the iPhone 15s? And it almost seemed like the 15 had its own issues, the 15 Pro had its own issues, the Pro Max and the Plus, like every single one of these devices had their own problems, which genuinely I think probably was I don't know how, I don't know who to blame. Now, I don't know who was to blame for these types of issues, but you have to remember that whenever a phone comes out, there's always going to be problems and there's always going to be issues. But when we're talking about these types of issues and these types of problems, I genuinely do think that it's not really a good sign for Apple to go ahead and kind of miss the mark on these types of iPhones for such a long period of time. There were issues that we saw from our iPhone like day one or week one that weren't fixed until like month one of our particular iPhone release, which I genuinely don't think is a strong thing for Apple to go into, and I don't think that was a very, very smart thing for them to do either. So there were so many things across the board from that standpoint, but the best thing you can say is that Apple did end up fixing these problems. And I'm very happy to, kind of say at this point that the iPhone 15, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and the 15 Plus is a good iPhone to buy. I think it's one of the best iPhones Apple's ever made, and I do think it is the best iPhone you can actually purchase right now. But that doesn't excuse the fact that there were so many problems going on with those iPhones, when these first came out. That was a very big problem. I was not happy about that when that first happened. I reported on basically every single one of these problems, but especially when you look at these types of phones, like you don't want them to have issues when they first come out. You're spending so much money. There's something called the early adoption problems, which basically, as soon as you buy those phones or buy this product the first day it comes out, there's going to be issues that you're going to have to kind of deal with. That's just kind of what happens with every single type of device. But I do think for the future of these types of products, you don't want to go ahead and buy a phone from a manufacturer the first month. That's going to be a big problem. So if anything, Apple is kind of doing themselves a disservice as well by not actually supplying the best iPhone when it first comes out. That means you should probably buy this iPhone like the second week or the third month that this iPhone comes out at this point. So something weird happened with the 15s, Apple fixed it, but it's still a really, really weird thing. And I wonder how the iPhone 16s are going to be holding up, the first couple of weeks they come out. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.